Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines, and most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight. What do I mean by that? I mean, I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice-a-week long-form podcast, so we can put the right information out there that you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life by the people who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. That's one of the many reasons why I proudly fly this American flag behind me every single day. A, we're the greatest nation on earth. You can't debate that at all. And B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. All right, it is Thursday. We're going to do a solo show. I got a special guest for you guys tomorrow. Obviously, every single Friday is Q&A. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a friend of mine that's a shipper come on, and it's going to be him and I answering, mainly him answering your guys' questions about the sales process, okay? So if you're out there trying to build your book of business right now, if you have any sales or operations related questions for tomorrow's show, DM them over to me. I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch and even a bunch more. I'm going to choose the top couple of ones, okay? Because this is, again, a shipper is coming on tomorrow's show to answer all of your guys' questions, okay? So this is what, I don't know of anybody else who creates content in the transportation industry that brings your target prospect on to answer your guys' questions live. So if you have any of those, DM them over to me, or tomorrow during the show, drop them in the live stream, whether you're watching over on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter, and my guy will answer all of these for you, okay? He's here to help. He's been on the show in the past, and he wants to help answer all your guys' questions on tomorrow's show. So that will be tomorrow. Today, you're just stuck with me, and you're welcome for that. But before we go any further, as always, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers at some point in time. And especially if you're a small fleet and you're an owner-operator, you should never have to shut your operation down because you have a trailer in the shop. And this gives you a very unique opportunity to sell to enterprise-level shippers if you don't have all the assets, because that's what a lot of them are looking for. They're looking for that drop trailer capacity. So what they're looking at, what they got right now is they got Staunton, Wisconsin going over to Milton, Ontario. And with this, you guys, you get $350 US per trailer. And you don't just have to have a shipper out of Madison or over in Milwaukee. You can bring them down to Chicago, position them down there, and they just got to end up over in Milton, Ontario. And then they also have Chattanooga, Tennessee going over to Clinton, Oklahoma, and then you get $400 US to do that. 600 US to do that. You guys, those are a bunch of dry vans. They got a mess of dry vans out in San Diego, though. You guys going to all over the US. They're going to Illinois or Chicagoland. They're going to Memphis. They're going to Dallas, Houston, Laredo, Charlotte, Atlanta, Minneapolis. They're all over the place, and they range from $1,100 to $2,200 per trailer to move them, you guys. Like, this is insane what they have out there. If you have a dry freight customer that's in these areas, you guys got to jump all over them. And then finally, they got the Mountain Paragould, Arkansas. They need to get up to Mississauga, Ontario, and you get $736 US to do each and every one of those, you guys. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. And my friend Stacy Steen and Zach Lonergan, they'll be in the audience. Just do me a favor, let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Sante Alamonte, what is up? Good morning, Coach. Put me in. He's ready to play. Dylan Turner, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for your support. Navon Atri, good morning to you, sir. Thanks for tuning in. What is up, Alex? Good morning. Hope you're having a good one too, dude. Flo, what is up? Good morning from our neighbors from Canada. Aaron, what is up from Phoenix? Let's go. Freight Valley in the house. Sonny Sharma, good morning. Orange Shirt Gang, let's fucking go. Vitaly, what is up, sir? Thanks for tuning in as always. Yeah, man, absolutely. It'll be live tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, every single day. and he's from Tampa via New York City. Jonte Reed, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So let me see. Tono Lippy, good morning from Montana. Let's go, he says. Being that I'm out here rebuilding an entire book of business cold, right? Like I got back in and, I started brokering again, and I'm building up my agency. And it's, I've been going through this frustration period, just like every single one of you, about, bringing on business and everything. But it's also that reminder, and I put a post out there this morning about this in particular, is it's supposed to be hard, right? I see this a lot out there right now. It's the market. Oh, it's so challenging. Oh, margins are small, this and that and everything under the sun. And I get it, right? Like, again, I'm out there, I'm cold calling, I'm cold emailing, I'm onboarding shippers. Yes. But when you get in the door, like you're low on the priority of their list of providers, right? Like they have those incumbents that have been there for whether, it's a year or 6 years, whatever that looks like, that you're up against. And those opportunities come few and far between early on. Right. And then my whole mentality is I just need one, get me one shipment. And then I'll start changing your entire perspective on how your operation has been ran, due to the fact that I will out-service and out-communicate fucking anybody. But to get to that point though, it takes a lot of effort, but like selling is easy at the end of the day, right? Like, because we're out here, I know that I can help. When I'm reaching out to a prospect of mine, I know I can help them without a doubt. But getting onboarded and that selling, that initial part of it all, you guys, is easy. All right. That is always going to be the easy part of it all, because execution will, once you get that first rate con, or when you continuously get those BOLs, when the performance and all of that stuff comes into play, that's when the real work starts every single time. So it's like, if you're out there struggling in sales, I struggle with the mental side of this shit too, because it is hard, right? It is hard getting rejected 99% of the time, or just getting lumped into whatever reason, but this shit's not personal, right? So in anybody out there who sits there and say that it's like they're full of shit, it is legitimately a lot of work. But if your perspective, shifting your perspective of, what, I am just reaching out right now, right? Like the real work is going to start after the onboarding starts. That's when I get to prove everything that I've said. And I think that removes, at least for me, it minimizes and removes a lot of that initial anxiety that you feel in the sales process, right? That, am I saying the right thing? Do I sound stupid on the phone? Everything. We all go through it, right? And at the end of the day, yeah, you fucking probably do it sometimes. I do. It's just part of it. But you need to go through this though, because the fact that once you earn somebody's business, and my perspective shifted on all of this when I started my company 3 years ago. The fact that there are people that are willing to pay you thousands of dollars a month over anybody else needs to be cherished, and you need to work extra hard to keep that business and to continue to earn it, right? Because it's not once I get this customer, then everything's going to be okay. That's not the case. You have to continuously earn their business one truckload at a time. Like that's literally my company's motto, is one truckload at a time. Because I know for a fact, if I can do 1,000 loads for somebody, but if I fuck up on the 1,001st one and I drop the ball, they might start looking at things differently. So it's like, I always go into it one truckload at a time. I always go into every single day is one day at a time in business. And it's really, it's mastering what you go through day in and day out in the sales process, right? Because it's supposed to be hard. The market that we're in right now, this is the best market to operate in, because this cultivates you. And again, this catapults you to that next level of sales rep. Because if you're onboarding customers right now, if you're moving freight right now, imagine what it's going to be like when it flips back, right? So it's like these moments that we're going through, this is where you're fucking forging yourself. This is where you're really developing shit. And know that all the work that you're putting in right now, although it might not seem like it, is very much worth it. It's moving the needle. It might only be 1%. It might only be 0.5%, but it's moving the needle as long as you're holding yourself accountable to do your daily outreaches, to do your follow-ups with your current customers and everything else, and to really have that. It's, like I'm legitimately there to help, right? Like, and that's all it is I'm offering a solution at the end of the day. And I believe in the service that I'm selling. And you should too, right? Because if you're really that badass that's out there, if you know for a fact that you can do it, that should come through, right? Because it's like, if you're trying to convince somebody to work with you, that's shady in my opinion, right? Like, I know for a fact the service that I can deliver to somebody is going to add value to them. And I'm just trying to help. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to help. Is it going to work with everybody I talk to? Absolutely not. But I can find customers, right? Like, I can find that core, 10, 15 shippers that I can work with every single month. And there's a lot of value in that approach. Like I had said yesterday, like my target niche, shipper size and everything else that I'm going after, it's a different sales strategy than some, but that's fine. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to lay it all out there for you guys. Like, I will always talk about the wins, the losses, and everything inside of my content on what I go through out there to help you guys kind of change your stuff up and really get in there and help grow your guys' business as well. Because there's fucking so much freight out there. There's so much freight that is moving on these roads every single day. The opportunities are truly endless out there, you guys, and anything we can do to elevate this stuff. And, again, because it's like, I know for a fact that if I feel this way about certain things, I know you guys all are too. I'll just admit it, right? I'll be the one to admit it, that it's fucking hard to sell. It's hard to build a business. It's hard to do all this shit. It's taxing mentally, physically, all of that shit. It happens every single day. But, no matter what, you got to keep showing up with all of that. So that's my little, tirade, you could call it, this morning, or, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. I just talk shit into a mic all day, you guys, at the end of it. John Espinal, good morning from Orlando, Florida. Stephen Thompson, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Rebecca Tisby says selling is service. As Zach Lonergan, the grind is too real right now for everyone. You have to set yourself apart with extra value. Slow drips of business really do open up those floodgates. And my man JD Redmond talks about the hockey stick of business and success. It's very true. Tracy St. Clair, she's watching over on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, as always, Tracy. Rebecca Tisby says confidence is so key when selling. Just got to believe in yourself. It's a winner's exchange. This is a great conversation. Confidence is everything. If you don't fucking believe if you don't believe that you can do what you're saying, how do you think your prospects are going to feel? It's very key right there. Madison Murphy, Freight Coach, fam, bam. I like it. Thanks for tuning in, Madison. All right, let's get into some articles. As always, you guys, I choose articles at random every single day. I don't pre-read these at all. I try and go off the cuff as much as possible when I'm breaking these down, because I want you guys to get my real reaction in real time on these, and not some fabricated message about anything. So let me see here. Jerome Jones, good afternoon, everyone. He's watching over on YouTube as well. And you guys, all the links to the articles that I break down will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel, The Freight Coach, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay of this, which will be available on iTunes and Spotify here shortly after the show. We'll get it all uploaded on there. All right. First article from my friends over at the JOC. Bill Cassidy, if you're listening to this, I got to reach out to you. And same with Eric Johnson too, man. I got to get you guys back on the show here soon. First article, JOC.com. Large U.S. truckload carriers reined in capacity in Q1. Capacity is exiting the U.S. truckload market, albeit slowly, with a group of the largest U.S. truckload carriers reducing their truck numbers by 5% from last year's fourth quarter to first quarter of 2023. And that was according to the latest JO's Journal of Commerce Truckload Capacity Index. All the carriers included in the TCI release Wednesday decreased their tractor counts from fourth quarter to first quarter, pulling the index down from 91% to 86.6%. On a year-over-year basis, the TCI dropped 2.2 percentage points, below 88.8% reading for the first time in since first quarter of 2022. the contraction, while steeper than seen in recent quarters, is still not big enough to make a major dent in the overall truckload capacity or reverse truckload pricing trends that favor shippers. The decline does signal that the declines do signal, that large truckload carriers are adapting to a soft market by reining in and redirecting capacity. That will place them in a better position when stronger demand returns. And then truckload capacity remains ample, if not as abundant as it was a year ago. C.H. Robinson, the routing guide depth of tender ratio in the first quarter dropped to 1.2, its lowest since COVID in 2020. The ratio indicates the first carrier in a contractual routing guide accepts the tender almost all the time, which means that the market is oversupplied. And, and that's one thing, kind of like what we were talking about here, you guys, when you're getting in the door with new providers, right? Because they're always going to add quality. Like no matter what, shippers are always going to add quality providers, regardless of what the market is. But if you're in there from a large RFP perspective, or if you're even in the door as a new provider and that's flooded with incumbents who have been servicing them very well, that's what you're up against. Is even if you're out there providing rates, that relationship is there, and it's literally you're fighting for crumbs in a market like this. You're fighting for that one opportunity, and that's what I say. Like with my mentality is, I just need one. You do one shipment with me, you're going to start questioning how they've been able to operate before working with somebody like me, and then from there it's only going to go. By the fifth shipment of working with somebody like me, you're going to start forgetting other names inside of your network. By the 10th one, you don't even fucking remember anybody anymore. That's my mentality going into this stuff. But that's the waiting game when you're in the door with the shipper for the first time. That's what a lot of us are up against, because we might have a cheaper price than some of the incumbent carriers that are in there, but they have the established service record that's in place. So they're going to go with that. So again, you got to be willing to keep pushing through a lot of the early stages of when you're onboarding new customers, because that opportunity that you want for that new shipper, you guys, is it's going to come on a non-peak lane. It's going to come at a non-peak time, whether that's a Saturday morning, a Friday night, it'll be a fall off, and you're coming in to save the day. That's how it's going to look. And you have to be there and you have to be ready to do it, right? Like you look at this last weekend, on the holiday weekend, you know how many people got their first load with the shipper because everybody else was out of the office and the opportunity came in late? It happens, you guys. Then it goes on to say, sorry, I'll get back to the article. Playing niches as operating costs remain high and contractual and spot rates drop. Large truckload carriers are dedicating capacity to their most profitable shipper accounts and niches served. And they still expect more small fleets and independent operators to at least park their trucks. Through the first quarter, we have reduced our dedicated fleet by 200 trucks since the first quarter of 2022. That was from Trip Grant. He's the EVP and CFO at Covenant. He said in the April 27th earnings call, Covenant is one of the carriers in the index group. However, Covenant quickly added approximately 225 trucks in late April by acquiring a trucking company, and Thompson & Son Trucking, an Arkansas-based carrier that specializes in poultry hauling. And they expect that is to generate double-digit return on invested capital. The company said the acquisition is an example of how more truckload carriers are carefully curating their capacity to maximize profit. That strategy is being pursued by many carriers, including Knight-Swift. Having a diverse group of brands and services, including roughly 4,600 dedicated trucks, provides us with flexibility. For example, as the over-the-road truckload volumes have softened year over year, our dedicated business has grown top-line revenue and improved margins on a year-over-year basis. And that was from Adam Miller, the CFO at Knight-Swift. Werner Enterprises reduced its dedicated fleet sequentially by 105 trucks in the first quarter, even as dedicated demand remains solid and steady. A few dedicated fleet customers adapted to lower demand this quarter by slightly reducing fleet sizes with parameters of our contracted terms. Let me see here. It still had, even, with Warner, Derek Leathers said that his CEO, he said that we still do have 250 more trucks on the road today than we did even after last year, even after reducing that. Companies with more exposure on the spot market cut capacity that was out there. And historically, Let me see here. However, trucks galore. Sorry, I'm just skimming through some of this stuff here. For almost a year, large truckload carriers and 3PLs such as C.H. Robinson have been predicting an exodus of small carriers that would tighten capacity and eventually spark a new market. They didn't count on nearly as many carriers continuing to enter the trucking business. The number of companies leaving the market hit 12,000 in March, but the number of new entries was at 11,000 as well. And that meant so it was only 900 carriers left the market. The FMCSA data showed a drop of 7,000 operating authorities since December of 2022. However, the number of carriers with operating authority at 361,000 was still 3.6% higher than in December of 21. Compared to December of 2019, the number of motor carriers has increased 50%. That number cannot hold, trucking executives believe. It's going to be interesting to see. This is a really good article. The JOC pumps out. They're my favorite news journalists, all of that shit in the trucking industry. I fucking love their articles. JOC.com, large U.S. truckload carriers raining capacity at Q1. I just want to say, every time I read stuff like that, that means that the little guy is fucking fighting tooth and nail to stay in business. And I absolutely love it. Now, some of these numbers, again, when we're looking at overall carrier MCs and authorities, that does include brokers, that does include a lot of different things. But again, I personally love seeing the fact that, if we're looking at it from an overall market entrance thing, like they were saying, like 12,000 carriers left, but 11,000 entered. So there was really only about 900 difference out there. And, I just like to see the little guys fucking fight tooth and nail to stay in business, because I am. That's me. I'm fucking bootstrapping everything in my company, right? Like I don't have a golden parachute. I'm out here fucking making it every single day. And I love seeing this shit in these articles that people are fighting to stay in business, because they should, right? Like this market cycle, no matter how you want to look at it, isn't going to last forever, for starters. And B, you're closer to it turning into your favor at this point than you were, right? Like every single day you figure it out, and every single day you continuously move freight and you stay profitable, you're one day closer to that market shift happening, or finding that dedicated customer to where you can fucking remove yourself entirely from the spot market, right? Because that's my whole goal as a broker at the end of the day, is to keep my carriers and my customers off the spot market entirely. And there are so many shippers that are out there that would love dedicated relationships with owner ops and small fleets. They're out there, you guys. They speak to me at least about it in nauseum. They're out there, you guys. The opportunities are out there, and I just love seeing that people are fighting fucking tooth and nail to stay in business. Let's go. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I drink a shitload of coffee. It is what it is. Nick Rumor, what is up? Rumor has it. Good morning. Let me see. Madison Murphy says, I'm always gaining new customers through other failures or fall-offs. Feel like it was rejected. Feel like I was get the rejected complicated load that runs so smoothly that the client's happy and comes over to my side. I'll fucking take anything, right? Rejected, fucking you name it, I'll take it. That's fine. Give me one, right? Let's Nick. Yeah, I was about diversifying. Sante, yep, it is. Rebecca Tisby says, yes, we are fighting. Underdogs rule, grassroots, baby. Amen to that. And then Nick Rimmer says, it's all about the little guys. We wouldn't be here without them. Exactly. Like fucking 90. It's okay. I've seen the range between 92 and 96% of the trucks on the road are 10 truck or less operations. I don't know what is what at this point. So I'm just going to go with my normal 95% of the trucks on the road are 10 truck or less or 20 truck or less operations. You can fact check me on it. I'm not going to fucking research exactly what it is, because it changes all the time. Next article we're going to break down, I know we only got a couple minutes left, just comes from the great state of California. Oh man, Wall Street Journal, California's electric truck drive draws startups building charging networks. Electric vehicle charging startups are racing to cash in on California's drive to electrify truck fleets in the state. I must stop right here and say that California, as of last summer, still had rolling blackouts, and the governor advised its citizens to not charge their vehicles. Just throwing that out there before I continue down this path of this article. A clutch of companies are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to lease and buy land. The competition is heating up because of recent regulations that force some trucking companies and owner ops to begin buying electric vehicles starting January 1st. Don't you love it when the government forces you to do something? It's so much fun having the government tell you that you have to buy an electric vehicle. I fucking love that. And if you can't tell, I'm being extremely sarcastic right now. California depends on trucks to move billions of dollars, not millions, but billions of dollars worth of consumer freight. And it aims to replace at more than 30,000 heavily polluting trucks with clean energy vehicles by 2035. That's their big thing. Let me see here. Sorry, my computer is taking a second to load. It's not taking a second to load. I just want to show you guys because I don't know if a lot of people have actually saw what a lithium mine looks like. I don't know if you guys can see this. So this is a lithium mine. This is what's made for all of those electric vehicles. So if we're going to talk about cleaning up the environment and pollution and all of that stuff, this is what it does to the environment. And you know, so I'm not going to go into a anti-clean energy thing because I want to breathe cleaner air just like the rest of them. But I feel like if we're going to talk about this, let's put all the facts out there on what this actually does to the environment. How many animals in vegetation, native vegetation, do you think this killed? You know, that's all I'm saying. So we got to look at it from both sides of the perspective, because is it really going to be doing better for the environment? Is it? And then especially when they're out there and they're talking about mandating this, and you have to buy this truck by this date and everything else. And, you know, damn near every trucking group is vehemently against this. And then there's also, you know, I just feel like there's so many other real problems, not just in the industry, but like in the supply chain and everything that should be fixed before any of this stuff. And again, here's what I'm a fan of when it comes down to it is, here's an opportunity. If you want to do it, this is what the benefits of it are. And this is what you know, if you want to do it, you can run with it. Let me see. The state's rules targeting truck emissions are the toughest in the country, calling for electric fleets, and they mean that California will need thousands of charging stations. Experts say such sites will have to be clustered close to the state's big ports, critical connections for the U.S. economy, and spread across to deliver energy to power-hungry tractors. Again, insert in the current power grid can't sustain its current network inside of California. So crippling it with even more energy is obviously the answer in this. And then it also says that the state must solve the chicken and the egg problems that are plaguing emerging technologies. Charging providers won't install infrastructure if they don't have a large enough pool of potential customers. Truckers, meanwhile, say they won't buy electric vehicles if there is nowhere to charge. Fucking shocking, right? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? It's a huge amount of infrastructure required. I know, it's weird. The company has raised $1 billion in backing. That came from co-founder Nina Palmer of Terawatt Infrastructure. Concerns over charging are a major roadblock, and the commercials are particularly pressing for commercial trucking with fleet operators. California's I know we're running up on time here. You guys read through this article. All right, read through this article. I should have just started with this one because I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of any of this stuff because the one thing, and again, please fact check me. If you're a fucking supporter of this, please come on my show. Come and talk to me about how this is beneficial. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to find a solution. I don't have to be right. I want to know how this is good for everything in its current juncture and how it is currently structured. And then I also want you to answer, how are we going to service anything if the power goes out? I want to know, and I want to know a detailed plan. I would love a detailed plan, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners of this show would love a detailed plan on what's going to happen if the power goes out for an extended period of time, and then we don't have any trucks to do anything with it. Again, I would love it from there. Our Wall Street Journal article on that. As always, the links to we're up on time, and I want to be mindful of all your guys' time. The links to the articles will be put up on the Freight Coach YouTube channel, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay. Sonny, we can revisit this article on Monday. Sonny, if you want to join the show, man, you live in California. You can come on if you want, Sonny. Text me. Let me know if you want in, and we'll fucking break this entire article down on Monday. Yeah, that's going to be it for today, you guys. Tomorrow, remember, shipper Q&A. I got a shipper coming on the show to answer all of your sales and operations related questions for the transportation industry. But that's going to be it, you guys. As always, if you see value in it, share the show, subscribe the show, share the show, rank the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all of that. That's just how we reach more and more people. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.